guys, welcome back to Linda's Pantry. So today I'm doing another inspired recipe, and I'm going to put the link below of who this is inspired by because I don't want to butcher the name, and I'll probably put a little caption here. So because I made that kimchi not too long ago, I've still got a bunch left, and I'm the only one that really eats it, and so I have it over brown rice. I've actually had it in top ramen, and then when I saw this idea, I said, oh, I've got to make this. So it's a kimchi soup, and they call it something else in Korean, and again, I don't want to butcher that. So I'm going to make this soup, and I hope it inspires you to go over and visit her channel. She does a lot of authentic Korean food, and it's just amazing. So that being said, I hope that if you like this, you give me a thumbs up somewhere along the way. Maybe go visit my Facebook page. I'll put the link below, and also I'll have the link to my Wild Tree website, and you can go shop for all natural, all organic products if you'd like, and or explore the idea of becoming a rep. All right, guys, let's go make some delicious kimchi soup. Okay, guys, I am so excited that you stayed for this because I have been craving this since I saw the video, and I've used this kimchi in some oriental noodles with just a light chicken stock, and it really flavors the broth nicely. But when I saw this, I thought, oh, this is even better. So, and we'll do without the pasta, but we're gonna make a kimchi soup. And so I'm starting to use up my kimchi. I'm the only one that eats it. My husband he kind of turned his nose up at it, which is fine with me because I'll eat it all. And because it's still fermenting, it's been about a month, I think. I'd have to check for sure when I made that video. But, so we're gonna start out, and this recipe was inspired, and I'll leave the link below to her channel. I just love her. And I'm gonna have to change one thing a little bit because I don't have green onions. I don't know why, I forgot them. But, so you've got your kimchi that's been fermenting. And if you haven't tried this, if you like kimchi, this is so easy and inexpensive to do on your own. I highly recommend you do it. So she has you take 2 cups of kimchi, which my recipe, this is spicy, so that's plenty. And I'll leave out the pepper flakes that she adds into it. Mine doesn't need it. Okay, we'll set that aside. Now, I've got some, it also calls for tofu. I've got organic. This is certified organic. It's also certified GMO free. Organic, non-GMO, sorry, from whole soybeans. So, it's the only reason I would purchase tofu under these circumstances. And I'm going to replace the green onion with onion because we love onion. And she did pork shoulder. We're going to take this pork and cut it up. And this was a shoulder blade steak, if that makes sense. And I brought this up to about room temperature because I want it's going to go on the heat. And I'm going to sear mine. She didn't do that, but I believe searing always adds a little bit more flavor. We're going to go ahead and start this. Well, I'll be darned. There we go. We'll start this on high, get it started, heating that pan up, and so this I'm just going to take this bone out. So you wouldn't have to buy a big cut of meat. I had bought pork chops on sale and package them up, and so I thought, well, that's perfect. I'll use this part of it, the recipe, I'll go ahead and use from the pork chops. So you just cut it up in bite-sized pieces. That's as easy as it is. I think sometimes we think we try to make things too hard on ourselves, and it doesn't have to be hard. You could save the bones, or actually I might even throw them, the larger of the two. I'll throw that bone in there for flavor on the soup. So I'm going to get this meat all cut up, and I'll bring you right back to show you what I do next. Alright, so I've got the meat all cut up in bite-sized pieces. I did make sure this is hot enough to brown off some meat and get that going. I wanted to make sure. Hopefully there's enough room. Okay, so I'm putting the meat down in the pan just to brown it a little bit. Doesn't have to be, you know, browned as, you know, but just enough to get the flavor started and the caramelization process. Because we know that that layer of flavor is something you can't replace. And you can start it with a little bit of Wild Trees and Natural, just to get some oil started, and then it'll start rendering the fat from the pork. Will start rendering a little bit, but I did try to trim the fat too. So I've got this over a medium-high heat. I might turn that up to high now that I've got the meat in. On my little induction oven. And as you can see, everybody was worried about my one pan that moves around when you're stirring, but it does that on the stove too. I think the bottom is warped a little bit. So we're going to get some seasoning down here. I want about a teaspoon of black pepper, maybe a half a teaspoon, some salt, and we're going to let this meat brown. We really don't need any other seasonings because this is full of garlic and onions and that fermented cabbage. It's just going to be delicious. So I'm going to let this brown, the lid on it, hold that heat in, and we'll get moving. Once this gets browned off, then we're going to add the kimchi and some water, and you could add stock if you want, which I might. And then we'll let that simmer for a half hour till the meat is cooked through, and we'll add the tofu and the onions, and oh, it's just going to be delicious. All right, guys, I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I've got the meat is browned off now. Doesn't that look beautiful? I even got that one bone in there just for flavor. I'll take it out. Now we've got some little bit of brown fond on the bottom. I'm going to add onions. Onions are super healthy. If I had fresh green onions, I would add them. I just don't think the dehydrated ones will add enough to this. And there's green onions in the kimchi as well. And you know, I know I said I wasn't going to add any pepper powder because it was hot enough. But the Korean pepper powder is not hot. I added cayenne to mine. So I'm going to go ahead and add the pepper powder, because I think we're going to need it. It's not hot, but it will add flavor. So I also am going to add a tablespoon of sugar to balance out that spice. Maybe not quite a tablespoon. Okay, and then our kimchi. Oh, doesn't that look good? Oh, I'm going to sing. Okay, now we've got, she added 5 cups of water, so here's 4. See where we're at? Oh yeah, we're gonna be perfect. This little 2-quart pan that I got this cast iron, enamel coated cast iron pan at World Market, and I believe it was $25 a couple of years ago. It's come in handy for me because I know I won't make too much food. The only thing left to put in here is the tofu. So I'm going to let this simmer for a half an hour, and we're going to bring this back up to heat, and we'll simmer that for a half hour, and then I'll bring you back when I put the tofu in. And I am going to adjust the amount of tofu because I think I'd like to use half the tofu instead of a full block, but we'll see. Alright guys, you know I could change my mind. That's kind of how I am. So now we're ready to put the tofu in. This is simmered. I actually took it off this induction burner and put it on the stove to simmer because I'm used to gas heat, I guess. I don't know. But this is more for your visual. I really do like this burner, but it really cooks hot on the bottom. So as you can see how beautiful, and I've tasted this a couple times and it's delicious. So I cannot wait, my mouth is watering. So I'm going to take this block of tofu and cut it down here. And this was extra firm. That's really the only kind I care for. And then you're just going to cut in the bite-sized pieces that you would like. They're finding out tofu is not the superfood they thought it was at one time, or soy. And I turn this block and go down the other way. And then we've got our bite-sized cubes that are absolutely delicious. And we're ready to add it to the soup. And I was worried there wasn't going to be enough room because of the amount of liquid in here. But that was full to the top when we started, and that's how much has evaporated off. So we're going to bring you in a little bit closer so we get that beautiful bird's eye view of what's going on. Because this is going to simmer. I'm going to turn this down. It's at 350 right now. I'm going to turn it down. It doesn't need to be rocking and rolling that hard. And we're going to put this tofu in there. Let's get my knife and scoop some up. And we'll just put as much as this little pot will handle. And that tofu is going to soak up all that spicy broth that's in here. And I can tell you it's not too hot and spicy at all. It's flavorful. I'm thinking it could be my all-time new favorite soup. So let's see how that looks. And the meat in here, oh my goodness. Yeah, look how nice that is. We've got those onions and the pork and the tofu. I think it's got room for the whole thing. Let's put it in. We're going to let this simmer for another 15-20 minutes and then we'll be ready to eat. And I already have my bowl out because I am ready. I absolutely think this soup is going to be phenomenal. So, that being said, we'll be right back. And, ooh, I hope you stay with me. Don't leave now. You'll be missing out. So look how beautiful it is. It's absolutely finished, done. It was really simple ingredients. The kimchi wasn't that much work. It's been a little bit of time put into it, you know, letting it ferment and all that. But actually, it was good the first day. So I'm going to dish up a bowl of this. It's really, really hot. But I just wanted to show you how beautiful this is. So I'll dish up a bowl, get a really nice picture of this, and bring you back for a taste test. Okay, guys, hold on. All right, guys, I'm anxiously awaiting this. Now, I do like to, when I've had it just with the Asian noodles, I like to put a little sesame seed down there. Toasted sesame seed just adds another little, makes it pretty. You could put some fresh scallions on there. If I had that, I would. So I want a piece of the pork, some of the cabbage, and a piece of tofu. Or maybe I'll do pork and cabbage first and then tofu and cabbage. Oh, it just smells amazing. This is the kind of stuff I crave. It's so full of flavor. And I've left out, my inspiration gal, she left, or she put this over rice. And I'm going to leave those extra carbs out and just do it this way. So here we go. Man. That pork is so fall apart tender now. It's delicious. It's spicy, but not too spicy. And, oh, it's delicious. Get that little crunch of the sesame seeds and that toasted flavor. It just comes through. I don't know how it happens, but it's really good. And then that kind of briny flavor from the fermented kimchi. How delicious this is. I truly hope this inspires you to maybe step outside the box, try something new. I've talked to a few people this week while I was planning this recipe, And most of them have never heard of kimchi, or they've seen it in the grocery store but was afraid to try it. Yeah, so sometimes we just have to step outside that little area we're in and try something new. And if you do make this, I hope that you come back and tell me about it. Share it with your friends. Maybe if you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you really like it, share it on your Facebook page. And go ahead and pin it on, I'm going to pin it on Pinterest. So guys, as always, go visit my inspiration, and I guess I'll see you next time. All right, guys, God bless. Enjoy. This is so good.